The reason to consider life and what's of value is to make sure you're not missing out. Seize the day. What's important to you? What do you care about? What matters? Pursue that. Forget the rest.
In the spotlight tonight, Brittany Maynard's legacy. A year ago, 29-year-old Brittany Maynard was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer and decided to move from her home state of California to Oregon to take advantage of that state's Death with Dignity law, which allows terminally ill patients like Brittany to choose where and when they want to die. The world met Brittany in early October of last year when she teamed up with Right to Die advocacy group Compassion and Choices to share her story in a video which has been viewed almost 12 million times. On November 1st, Brittany chose to end her life as she planned in her home in Portland, Oregon, surrounded by close friends and family, or what she called her ring of love. She wrote on Facebook that day, goodbye to all my dear friends and family that I love. Today is the day I have chosen to pass away with dignity in the face of my terminal illness, this terrible brain cancer that has taken so much from me, but would have taken so much more. In a video she filmed a few weeks before she passed away, Brittany said this.
My goal, of course, is to influence this policy for positive change, and I would like to see all Americans have access to the same healthcare rights.
Joining me now is Brittany's husband, Dan Diaz, and Barbara Coombs Lee, the president of Compassion and Choices, the organization that helped Brittany spread her message. Dan, first of all, I'm very sorry for your loss and what you and your family has been through. A friend of mine went through brain cancer, and so when she talks about knowing what was coming, knowing what she didn't want to go through, that's very powerful to those of us who know what that ending is like.
Yeah. What Brittany was facing leading up to the weeks of her death, the symptoms that she had were getting progressively worse. But was just around the corner was the reality that she would potentially lose her sight, go blind, become paralyzed. And so knowing that she had the ability to control how much suffering she would have to endure so that she could focus on living and not be so concerned with the dying part. The Death with Dignity option that was available in Oregon was something that was very meaningful to her to have that option.
And then she was also on her way to being completely unable to communicate at a certain point, which was very important to her, wasn't it, that ability to communicate with you?
That's right. Even before her surgery, which was on January 10th, that was one of the biggest concerns she had, being trapped in her own body. So leading up to that brain surgery, that was her primary question. What are the chances that if something goes wrong in the surgery, I lose the ability to communicate? So as the brain tumor was growing and her symptoms were getting worse, that was one of the biggest fears that she had. And every time she had a seizure, she was unable to speak for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And so each and every one of those seizures for her was terrifying.
And Barbara, your organization isn't about advocating this choice. It's about advocating the possibility of this choice.
That's right. We think that people should have access to the choice. And from our experience in Oregon, the data clearly shows that just having the choice is of enormous comfort to people at the end of life. They get such peace of mind, such a sense of security. Whether they use the medication, whether they ingest the medication or not, is really becomes kind of irrelevant because they've already experienced the positive impact, the tremendous improvement in the quality of their life and their outlook, just feeling as though they're in control again, they're in control of their own destinies.
You know, my dear friend who I saw go through this has 3 daughters, and his choice was to hang on as long as he possibly could and take every measure to be able to hold their hands as many days as he could. But Brittany didn't have children, you didn't have children. It's different calculations in different cases. And what strikes me about it is just how clearly she was able to see, and you were able to see, what the reality was in front of you and how you made that decision. And the legal environment you made it in was incredibly important to allow you to think clearly, wasn't it?
Right, yes. Because unfortunately, truth be told, behind the scenes in California, Well, you hear that this kind of happens anyways in
Yes.
palliative care and hospice, where once there's morphine in the house that a patient could, but then there's a story similar to Barbara Mancini, another person working now with Compassion and Choices, that you do run a risk, and so where the family could potentially be prosecuted. So Oregon, the wisdom of the citizens to have this law, to have passed it 17 years ago, so that the family is protected, so that the patient can decide for himself or herself without endangering the ones that he or she loves. So it was a difficult choice to up and move to Oregon in the middle of everything that's going on, the chaos, dealing with a brain tumor. As soon as Brittany realized the death that left to its own devices that she would have to suffer through, we all recognized that this is the right thing to do. So that's why we had to move.
Barbara, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. Dan, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you what you're doing now. Again, very sorry.
Thank you. Thank you
We'll be
very
right
much.
back.